Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the complexities of corporate America and find out if the emperor is truly wearing any clothes. Today we're diving into an 8K filing from CIMG Inc. Now typically 8Ks are used to announce major events for a company, and this one certainly packs a punch. It's all about a recent deal and what it means for their future. Make sure you're subscribed and join our Discord community linked in the description for more insights like this. So what's in this filing? Well, CIMG has entered into a big agreement to sell a lot of its stock. CIMG is a company that's already trading on the NASDAQ, which is important because it means they're a publicly traded company and have to follow all the SEC rules and regulations. They've made a deal to sell a massive chunk of their common stock, that's 220 million shares to be exact. Now this isn't just any sale, this is a private placement, meaning they aren't selling these shares to the general public on an exchange, but to specific investors who are not based in the US. This agreement is called a securities purchase agreement, and it's a pretty significant deal for the company. They are raising a substantial amount of money, not with dollars, but with Bitcoin. Yes, you heard that right. They are selling these shares for cryptocurrency. The total value of this deal is a whopping $55 million, all paid in Bitcoin, and they're selling each share for 25 cents. Now, why is this so interesting? Well, it tells us a lot about how companies are starting to embrace digital assets and how they're looking for new and innovative ways to fund their operations. Remember those 220 million shares we talked about? This deal involves a lot of stock. Initially, they'll issue 148 million shares, and the rest will come later once the company sorts out its paperwork to allow for more shares to be issued. This is a key point that tells us right after this deal closes. CIMG Inc. will have about 36.4 million shares of stock out there in the hands of investors. That's a lot of new shares coming into play through this single transaction. It's also worth noting that CIMG Inc. is incorporated in Nevada. That's a common state for companies to incorporate in due to its business-friendly laws. Their public file number is 0013938, which is just an identifier for them with the SEC. And their taxpayer identification number is 3T83849791. These are just administrative details, but they confirm the company's official status. As we mentioned earlier, their common stock is traded on the Nasdaq Stock Market LLC, which is a major stock exchange. This means they're subject to Nasdaq's listing rules and reporting requirements. Now, Accession Inc. is not checking the box to be considered an emerging growth company. This means they are likely not eligible for some of the relaxed reporting requirements that younger companies might use. They're choosing to go the full route with public reporting. The main event here, as we've discussed, is the significant agreement, the securities purchase agreement. This is the heart of the filing detailing this crypto-funded stock sale. And because this sale is happening through a private placement and not a public offering, it falls under rules about unregistered sales of equity securities. This is why they're careful to mention that it's in reliance on exemptions like Regulation S, which are for sales outside the United States. The actual agreement itself, this is the document that governs the entire deal, and it's attached as an exhibit for everyone to see. This is where all the nitty-gritty terms are laid out. But finally, this report is signed off by Jan Chuang-Wan, who is listed as the Chief Executive Officer. This tells us the company's leadership is aware of and approving this significant transaction. So let's break down what this all means. CIMG Inc. is actively seeking capital and has found an unconventional but increasingly relevant source, Bitcoin. This move signals a few things. First, it shows a willingness to adapt to new financial technologies. Second, it potentially gives them access to a global pool of investors interested in both the company and the crypto space. However, there are also risks. The value of Bitcoin can be extremely volatile. If Bitcoin's price drops significantly between the agreement and the actual closing, the dollar amount CIMG receives could be less than anticipated. Conversely, if the price skyrockets, they might be leaving money on the table by selling at a fixed price. The fact that they are issuing so many new shares is also something to watch. Dilution is a real concern for existing shareholders. When a company issues a lot more stock, especially at a relatively low price per share, like 25 cents, the ownership stake of those who already own stock can be reduced. This can also impact the earnings per share, making the company appear less profitable on a per share basis. Looking at their current outstanding shares, 36.4 million, and then issuing another 220 million, that's a massive increase. It's more than a six-fold increase in the number of shares. This type of dilution can be a significant factor affecting the stock price and the value of existing holdings. This strategy could be brilliant if CIMG's future projects are very successful and the increased share count is justified by massive growth. But if the company's performance doesn't improve drastically, existing shareholders might see their investment significantly diluted. In conclusion, CIMG Inc. is making a bold move by embracing cryptocurrency for funding and by issuing a large number of new shares. It's a strategy that could lead to significant growth if executed well, but it also carries substantial risks, particularly around Bitcoin's volatility and share dilution. We'll definitely need to keep a close eye on how this plays out for the company and its investors. What's your take on this crypto-fueled funding round? Do you think it's a smart move or a risky gamble? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more in-depth corporate analysis. And don't forget to join the conversation in our Discord community, linked in the description. Thanks for tuning in to Corporate Decoder, and we'll see you in the next video.